It's Wednesday, August 18th. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel special report on a layover here in London. We've got a new, very dangerous, very large wildfire in the Northern California area, the Caldor Fire we need to report on. And in other news, we've lost another important aerial firefighting asset in Canada, the loss of a Bird Dog Aero Commander 690 aircraft on takeoff from runway 07 at Ontario's Thunder Bay Airport. Here's what we know so far on that from Fire Aviation. The Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry released a statement on Tuesday about the crash of the Bird Dog aircraft at the Thunder Bay Airport in Ontario, Canada, Monday evening. The pilot was the sole occupant of the Bird Dog aircraft, the plane that flies together with the CL-415 water bombers. That's why they call it a Bird Dog in Canada, and same terminology in Australia. It's like a lead plane or an air attack aircraft. And this particular aircraft was en route to Dryden for routine maintenance after completing the day of flying for the Forest Service. The aircraft was a Rockwell Aero Commander 690B. The registration is C as in Charlie for Canada, as opposed to N as in November in the United States. Gulf Yankee Lima Delta, registered to MAG Aerospace Canada Corporation. The company specializes in aerial fire services, aerial imagery, and ISR. These are contract flight services. So again, we don't know what happened to that aircraft, though it did happen very quickly on departure from runway 07. What I can tell you about the Aero Commander is it's widely used throughout the Forest Service because it's one of the safest aircraft to operate, multi-engine aircraft to operate. It has some of the best single-engine flight characteristics of any of the light twin aircraft out there. And so something happened very fast on takeoff to this aircraft that resulted in this fatal accident, but we have no other information on that at this time. So let's go upstairs where it's a little quieter and I could show you what's going on in Northern California with the Caldor Fire. Okay, we're here in the Northern California area on the InsuWeb map. Just as reference, here is the Dixie Fire, which is over 600,000 acres at this time, getting closer to Susanville. There's the small river fire near the Blanco Lirio Global Headquarters from a week or so ago, and here's the new Caldor Fire that exploded over 25,000 acres yesterday. Current estimates are unknown, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000 acres. Started down here near the Omo Ranch area and proceeded, primarily driven by its own winds created by the extreme dry timber and the extremely high fuel loads, created a huge Pyrocumulus cloud and drove this fire to the north and east. Now overnight were concerns of the diurnal breeze coming down this way and threatened, this is the Sly Park Reservoir right here, and threatened and now evacuated are the communities of Pollock Pines, right there, located right there on Highway 50. If this fire gets down in this South Fork American River drainage of the Highway 50, it's off to the races with this fire. Not until you get up into the, well, this would be the Rubicon River drainage. Only up in there has that been recently burned and are the fuel loads reduced. Here's an example of some of the huge flame lengths that firefighters are faced with. This is just a run and evacuate situation. There is nothing anybody can do with flame lengths that long on this fire. This video comes courtesy of Live Copter 3, KCRA 3 reports there in the Sacramento area. The community of Grizzly Flats has been largely wiped out by this fire. Here's an example of the Pyrocumulus Clouds forming from this fire from last night. That's taken from Placerville. Here's an example of the winds driving this fire, and these winds are primarily self-created from the fire itself. We've got generally a southwesterly flow, but once this fuel gets burning, it creates these powerful winds that draw the air into the fire. Here's what the driving conditions are like in the fire along Mormon Immigrant Trail Road yesterday. And Stuart Pauly here on Twitter makes an excellent point that media should not be in this fire unless they have shelters and a chainsaw and training on how to use both of them. Conditions are just too dangerous. Here's the 12-hour time lapse of what the Caldor fire looks like on the satellite view from yesterday, sending most of its smoke due east towards Gardnerville and Minden, Nevada. Here's another example of the extreme flame lengths from inside of the Caldor fire. Those are 150-foot tall ponderosa pine trees that are being dwarfed by these flame lengths inside the smoke of this fire. Again, this is brought to you by KCRA Livecopter 3 live stream, available on Twitter. And here's the way things look all the way over in Gardnerville, Nevada, with the ash, the cold ash dropping down on the town. So there are thousands of people being evacuated right now. Heed those evacuations early. Beat the rush. Go early. Don't think you can make a stand against those kind of flame lengths and those kind of fire conditions. That's a fool's errand. Get out early. We're just now getting into the heart of fire season in Northern California. Between now and until the rains come is when the worst fires are yet to be seen coming from this season. As these weather fronts begin to pass through, these dry fronts begin to pass through at the end of summer, beginning of fall, they're going to produce north wind events that are going to produce wildfires like we've never seen before. So if you know anybody in the affected area, make sure they've heeded the evacuation and have gotten out of the way of this fire. There's little or nothing firefighters can do once these fires get this big other than escape and evacuate. I don't know what the status of the air show is going to be over this fire. Based on the smoke we've seen lately and the winds, there may be very little even aerial assets can do at this time on the Caldor fire. It's only 3 in the morning there locally in Northern California right now, so we'll see how things shape up later on today. I got to get back to work. Thanks so much again for your support of this channel over on Patreon that makes this content possible, because every time we talk about these devastating wildfires here in Northern California, we get demonetized by YouTube. Thanks so much for your support. See you here.